When Buddha perceived his enlightenment, I always like to say perceived enlightenment, he didn't get enlightenment. Because getting enlightenment to me means that you do this thing and you're like progressing, and then kind of like if you want to be muscular, what do you do about that? Well, you have to start working out, right? So you do some training and you eat the right foods and you progress until you get to this goal. But that's not the way enlightenment works. Because when the Buddha perceived his enlightenment, that means he noticed it. He also noticed that everybody is enlightened. The way he said it, everybody has this original clear nature. We call it Buddha nature. Some people call it God nature, or whatever you want to call it. But I thought that was interesting. Everybody already has it. So it's not like you're progressing to get to this stage. We're practicing to let go so we can notice it. And it's just, the reason why we don't notice it is because we don't understand ourselves. And that's not understanding this creation of I, because we create this I, then we create this whole universe of opposites thinking, which clouds our view. So we're just kind of returning to what's already here. And that means that we're relying on our original nature. Sometimes we call it intuition, right? Everybody has this sense of intuition throughout our whole life. We don't usually trust it because we get confused with our thinking. So we know that if we just follow our thinking, we're in big trouble. And if we just follow our emotion, we know how that goes. They're also in big trouble. But if you follow this intuition, this thinking and emotion will follow. In fact, I don't even think they're separate. It's just one thing. But it's when we start creating this strong sense of I, then everything's separate. Our thinking's separate, our emotions separate, our intuition's separate. It's not. It's the same. So that means our intuition always knows what to do in every single moment. But we don't trust it, or we don't perceive it clearly. So that's why we kind of make a mess. So our job in practicing is to just perceive this moment clearly, because the only time we can do anything in our life is now. So if we make this moment clear and make our action clear, then our life becomes very clear. And we're using the practice to kind of pierce through all this conditioning and all that stuff that's covering up this original clear nature. I just read something, it's kind of a sad thing, but it's a test they used to do on dogs. It's not a good test, it was a long time ago. But anyways, they had these little young dogs in cages. And then they had this platform, and then they had another cage with food in it. So what the dogs didn't know, that platform had an electrical shock. So when the dogs got really hungry, of course, they want to go to the food. So they walk and so they run back in there. So after some time, they would never even attempt to walk on this platform, even if they were starving. So what these people did is they turned off the shock, and then they tried to just put the dogs on there. And when the dogs got on that platform, they were trembling, peeing, shaking, jumping off, just going crazy. There was nothing happening. And they had to do it over and over and over again. And then it was like, there's no problem here. And then they would go and eat the food. But that's like us, right? Our conditioning is controlling us. There's nothing going on, even if there's nothing going on. So a big part of our practice is sitting with this trembling, fear, anger, desire, whatever is happening in our life. Not running away from it, not pushing it away, not attaching to it, but just sitting with it. And then we can see, there's nothing going on here. And that's when everything becomes clear, but that's what could take some time. So again, it's not like this thing you progress, it's this thing that we keep letting go, and then realize, everything is super clear in this moment. And that's how we can help.